What's up guys, I'm DK Wrestler, and in today's video I'm going to be ranking all of the San Diego Comic-Con 2023 exclusives from Funko from worst to best. I'm going to be going through all of the exclusives, whether they are pops, sodas, Blockbuster Rewind, even Bitty Pops are involved in this list, anything that Funko has announced throughout social media, and start off what I feel is the worst exclusive and work one by one until what I feel is the best out of the selection for this year's San Diego Comic-Con. So the worst exclusive in my opinion is the Freddy Funko Pez. There's nothing really going on with it. The original pop was cool of this version that it's based off of, but as a Pez, there's not really much detail going on with it. The Funkoville Bitty Pops. Now, although the figures within the Bitty Pops are cool, the main reason it is basically sanked right to the bottom along with the Pez is that there's no chase involved with the Bitty Pops, unlike the Bitty Pops we'll talk about in a little bit. The Jurassic Park pin set. I'm not really a fan of pins, especially the pop pins. I always see them in clearance anyway, so who knows how well this is going to sell, and it just doesn't interest me at all. The first Funko Pop on this list, and it's Ariel from the live-action Little Mermaid. I just feel, did this really need to be made? And I mean, it could have, but did it really need to take a slot at San Diego Comic-Con? Probably not. MODOK from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. There's already been a MODOK pop in the regular wave of Quantumania pops. Why couldn't we figure out a new character like they did with WonderCon with Lord Kryler? The Snoop Dogg Funko Gold. Now this Funko Gold is alright, but there have been better, especially the Funko Gold of Snoop Dogg that has the Chase figure. Alina Starkov from Shadow and Bone. This figure is a little bit basic, plus I don't know anything about Shadow and Bone, even though I heard it is a pretty decent series on Netflix. The Diamond Collection Butterfly Heimlich from A Bug's Life. Now, although this pop is pretty cool, did it have any business being a Diamond Collection pop? Not exactly, but the bag it comes with, because it is a pop and bag bundle, does look pretty nice. Speaking of Diamond Collection pops, the 3-pack of Powerpuff Girls featuring Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. This once again kind of has no reason to be a Diamond Collection pop, except the fact that it kind of does for the whole like sugar and spice and everything nice kind of deal. The 6-inch Awake and Gone from Hunter x Hunter. Now this is an okay pop. It looks very basic, but it is a little bit innovative because it looks like a 4-inch pop, but will be inside of a very tall box because of his like height with like the troll-like hair. I haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, so I don't know what's going on, but as terms of the actual pop itself besides the hair, it's a little bit basic. Talia al Ghul from Batman. Now this is pretty decent. We did have the Ra's al Ghul a few years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, but this one, I felt like if I had a better posing, I think it would have shot up a little bit higher on the list, but because of the posing, it's very basic, so it's a little bit low on this list. Both the Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso Cobra Kai Funko Soda figures. The common sodas are pretty cool, but these have to be one of, if not the laziest Funko Soda chases I have seen at a Comic-Con, and I felt it was such a letdown and that they could have done better. The 3-liter Darth Vader Funko Soda. Now, although realistically the Cobra Kai's should be ranked higher because there hasn't been Cobra Kai sodas, I felt that what makes this one better than those Cobra Kai ones is that the chase is actually pretty decent with the translucent effect, and it's not an exact mold of the common, but the reason it is just as low is because Darth Vader has no business being a 3-liter soda figure. The Scooby-Doo in Scuba outfit. Now, we've seen quite a bit of Scooby-Doos, but I mean, did we really need this one? Maybe if it was a limited piece count, maybe it would have been a little bit higher. The Blacklight DC Comics Bitty Pops. Now, although we have seen these non-Blacklight in stores before, I do like the Blacklight effect, and especially because all of the different kinds are involved, and there is a chase involved. Next up would be the order of the SDCC Toucan, and then the Freddy Funko as Toucan. The normal Toucan, we have seen lots of Toucans. We usually see one every year for San Diego Comic-Con when it comes to Funko, but I felt this was more basic compared to the prior years, but at least with Freddy Funko inside of the Toucan suit, that is very unique to where it would be one spot higher than the regular Toucan. The Toucan Loungefly Bag. Now this is actually pretty decent. I like the way that they executed this with the wings and especially the head of the Toucan. The Funkoville 2023 t-shirt. Now this is pretty cool. One of my big gripes for a long time when it comes to the majority of these Funko shirts is that a lot of times they would put a big logo on the back and small one on the front. But in recent months, and especially maybe recent years at this point, they have been putting the big logo on the front, which I do like that better. Rita Repulsa from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, although this could be a little bit lower considering we have seen a similar Rita Repulsa before, I do feel that this is a bit more detailed than a lot of the figures we had talked about in this list so far. Thor in Toga from Thor Love and Thunder. This isn't too bad of a pop, but I do feel that maybe this should have been a glow-in-the-dark specification added to it because of the lightning energy. Shia-Poo from Hunter x Hunter. I highly doubt that I pronounced that correctly, but I do think that the detail looks pretty cool with the butterfly wings and especially the skin tone color of that light purple going on. The Bugs Bunny as Fred Flintstone for Warner Bros. 100. Now this is alright. I do like the mashup they did with Looney Tunes and Scooby-Doo, but was there a need of starting up a new mashup when they could still expand on the previous one? The Rodimus and Galvatron 2-pack from Transformers. Now these are not too bad. I think it is Galvatron if I'm not mistaken. A lot of people were thinking that it's very inaccurate to the character, but nonetheless these are pretty decent. Captain Marvel for the Marvel lineup. Now this is not too bad of a pop. Lots of cool details, especially with the scythe, and I do believe they did this for upcoming promotion of the Marvels movie coming out later this year, but I just don't think this will do it. Then we got the Jimi Hendrix pops, starting off with the Blacklight Con only pop and then the regular version. Now, although the Blacklight one is alright, I do feel that out of the 3 Blacklight versions they've done, this is the lackluster out of the 3, which is why I think that the common one is more better, although it is a little bit low because it kind of looks like Prince. Then we're going to be looking at pretty much the majority of the Freddy Funko Pops in this specific order though. Floaty Freddy, Blacklight Floaty Freddy, the Fun on the Run Freddy, and the Freddy Bowling Trophy. Now I put that in that specific order because the floaty one's cool and the blacklight one, I feel like with the blacklight shined onto it and seeing the effect, it'll look really cool. The Fun on the Run, we've been seeing that the last couple of weeks with the tour bus, so it's cool that there's actually going to be a pop right at the end of it at San Diego Comic-Con. And then the Bowling Trophy is a really unique way of making a Freddy Funko Pop, especially because we've seen similar things done like this, especially with the Dundee Award from The Office. Wicket with Slingshot from Return of the Jedi. When we first heard about an Ewok being a Comic-Con exclusive, I was hoping it was a new Ewok and not just the 15th Wicket. Although the Slingshot is cool because of the one scene where they take down the, I believe is AT-8? No, not AT, I can't remember. I think what could have made this better and a little bit higher up on the list is if at least Funko would have made this a flocked figure. Lilith from the Marvel lineup. Now, although this is very detailed, I think a lot of us were hoping it was going to be Lilith from Diablo 4, so with that, that's kind of what makes this lower on the list, but I don't know anything about this character, so it can't be so high on this list for me. Then I put the Blockbuster Rewind figures. Pretty much all of them, all at the same time, in no specific order really, because besides the superhero Freddy Blockbuster Rewind that we've seen, we don't know what the chase figures are for the other ones. So if we did know what the chases were, some of these would probably be ranked lower, and I'm sure some of these would be ranked higher considering I am excited to one day own a Blockbuster Rewind figure. Barry Allen from The Flash. This is pretty decent. I love the whole like kind of deluxe setup and especially the lightning energy around it. However, I do feel once again, like I mentioned with the Thor and Toga, this should have been possibly a glow in the dark pop because of the lightning energy around it. Then we have the Gaia and then Diamond Collection Gaia from Captain Planet. Although the regular one does seem basic, the Diamond Collection aspect actually looks pretty good on this pop compared to most pops with this specification, and the purples just stand out really well. Airazor from Transformers Rise of the Beast. This is a pretty detailed pop, and I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know what's going on with this character, but I do like the green eyes that pop out well, and I don't know if this pop is metallic or not. The Classics pop of Spider-Man. Now, I do like the idea of the Classics lineup, but I like this when we look at pops that we haven't seen so long. I believe this specific Spider-Man actually is still currently being produced by Funko, so I felt like there wasn't really a reason to make this a Classics Pops, unlike the WonderCon Lotso where we haven't seen that pop in over 10 years, Tweety from Looney Tunes. Now this pop is alright, we don't get too many separate Tweety pops, and it's a pretty decent version to be a Comic-Con exclusive. The Question from Justice League. Now, although this pop is pretty basic, it's that whole aspect behind it of like, wow, this is a pop with no face. So how often do you see a Funko Pop with no face added to it? Gore's daughter from Thor Love and Thunder. Now this pop is not too bad. I am glad that they made a new character for this movie into a Funko Pop, and hopefully this is the last pop they make, because I'm just sick and tired of them making Thor Love and Thunder pops, especially because the movie did not do that well. Next up is Nozel Silva from Black Clover. Now this was one of the pops that Funko never really announced until the shared retailers list came out, and this is actually a pretty decent pop. Normally Funko does well with the Black Clover pops, and this is no exception. This is pretty detailed. The Jessica Rabbit Funko Soda from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now this is a really cool soda. Considering we do have Roger Rabbit, it makes sense to have Jessica Rabbit, and especially the Diamond Collection specification does make sense for the sake of the dress. The Snorkel Freddy Funko Soda. This is a really cool Freddy Funko Soda. I love the detail with obviously him in the snorkel and the seaweed that's wrapped around him, and then making it a blacklight chase is pretty interesting. The colorways do look cool so far. Johnny Knoxville for the WWE lineup. Now, I put this pretty decently high on this list compared to what I felt like I should have put this, considering we have the first ever Johnny Knoxville pop. However, it prevents it from making it higher because it's a part of the WWE lineup and not the Jackass lineup like we hoped it was going to be. Short Round from Indiana Jones. I enjoy when Funko makes new characters for certain lineups for Comic-Con exclusives, and Short Round is a great example of a character they should do. Proto the Dog for the Funkoville set. This is really cool. The first ever Proto Funko Pop. We've been seeing a lot of Freddy Funkos, but finally we're getting the other Funko mascot that basically started the same time as Freddy Funko. And this is a pop I might actually obtain in my collection, so I thought I'd rate it pretty decently high on this list. The glow-in-the-dark Sesshomaru from Inuyasha. Overall, without the glow-in-the-dark aspect, this is a pretty decent pop, but to add that glow-in-the-dark aspect, even though it's not too much, is still pretty cool. But like I mentioned, the detail is what shot this pop pretty high. The Reptar Funko Soda. Now, I'm really excited that Reptar has its own Funko Soda, and it makes sense for the purple chase considering of the Funko Pop that they did a long time ago. But I think my only gripe about this and what could have shot this higher is that this definitely deserved the 3-liter Funko Soda treatment. Frodo Baggins with Ring from Lord of the Rings. This is a really detailed pop, and I keep saying in previous videos that this probably is the best Frodo Baggins pop that they have made thus far in the Lord of the Rings lineup, and it's for a pretty iconic scene also with this pop. Ghost Rider from the Midnight Suns game. Now, Ghost Rider pops usually look awesome, whether it's the blacklight one, the OG one, or the metallic one of that, but this pop is pretty sweet, and I do love the face sculpt, and especially the way they executed the flames. I think once again, and I've mentioned this I think the third time now, if this had the glow-in-the-dark specification, this definitely would have shot up a little bit higher on this list. The normal Butterfly Heimlich from A Bug's Life. This pop is really cool. I mean, when we first heard about a Heimlich happening for San Diego Comic-Con, we assumed it was going to be this scene because what else would they do? But if they would have done a character like, let's say, Hopper for A Bug's Life that hasn't gotten a pop treatment yet, I think this definitely would have shot up way higher on the list for me, especially being a huge fan of Pixar movies. The Goldie Roger Wanted poster from One Piece. These Wanted posters are not too bad. I believe this is the second one now, and usually One Piece pops are great. So once again, this is no exception, and I like the change up compared to the rise we've been getting. The Tanjiro and Urokodaki 2-pack from Demon Slayer. Although this is kind of like the 11th Tanjiro pop, we do have the debut of Urokodaki in pop form, and I feel like a lot of people have been wanting him as a pop for a while, and it looks great, which is why it makes up for it and makes it one spot higher than the One Piece Wanted poster. Trigon from the Justice League. This is a really detailed pop. I love seeing these obscure comic book characters be made into pop form, especially when you've seen the question that has no face and no eyes. Now you have a character with a face and has 4 eyes. Pretty crazy. Jeff the Dude Lebowski. This is a really cool pop. We haven't seen pops from the Big Lebowski in pretty much 10 years. So finally, besides seeing the cover from Fun on the Run, this is a really cool pop that doesn't take away from the OG one and has quite a bit of detail. The new Bizarro Superman for Warner Brothers 100. Now this is another example of a pop that they made a long time ago within the first couple of sets of DC SDCC comics, but they actually now have a new one and the detail is really awesome on it and definitely deserved to shot up pretty high on my list. The retro Tony the Tiger Funko Soda figure. Now this is a pretty decent Funko Soda figure and I wish it was flocked, but I do like the idea of them adding the surfboard to give the summer theme, plus it's a bit of a different mold change, which is really cool. Then we got the Surfing Tony the Tiger Pops, obviously starting off with the non-flocked and then the flocked version. Definitely makes sense that if you were going to choose a non-flocked and a flocked version, you definitely would be going for that flocked one, especially being limited to 2,000 pieces. Plus it's a pretty decent version of Tony the Tiger that fits the summer theme once again. 001 from Stranger Things. This pop is pretty decent. It's a new character that we have not gotten yet for the Stranger Things lineup, but it's not really like at the highest point of this list, considering that I feel like there definitely will be better pops in the future of 001, aka Henry Creel. Young Leia with Lola from Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is a really cool pop. People have been wanting a Young Leia pop since we had that new wave of Obi-Wan Kenobi pops announced earlier this year, and now it's announced here for San Diego Comic-Con, and this is a perfect character to be made to fill the Star Wars slot for San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Hatching Raptor from Jurassic Park. This is a really detailed pop, and it's almost like it's a Funko Pop, but not at the same time, because you don't really see Funko Pops in this kind of shape, and I think it's really cool where you have, I don't know if it's blood or some sort of like weird like ooze or goo coming out of the egg. The detail itself with the scales of the dinosaur and the mouth opening up, or the baby raptor, is really awesome and definitely one of the more detailed pops of this con, especially making it, as I now think about it, the number 2 spot on this list. Which now leads me to talk about the best Funko Pop for San Diego Comic-Con 2023. That is the Timmy Turner, Cosmos, and Wanda 3-pack from Fairly Odd Parents. This is an amazing 3-pack. They didn't have to have Timmy Turner and Cosmos and Wanda all together. They could have done that separate, but it is really cool that they had all 3 of them together, since basically they're always together. And I love the detail of Timmy Turner with the Crimson Chin comic book. Is that possibly a hint for New York Comic-Con? Who knows? Anyways, guys, that's gonna be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's video on me ranking the worst to the best of San Diego Comic-Con, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think is the worst and the best. Maybe even try doing your own list in the comment section below. But I hope to see you guys in the next video. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.